Second preseason match of the season against another team, 5-2 win. What are your overall thoughts of the match?
Well, today and the other day, we wanted to combine today's performance with the performance and the game from the other day versus Colorado. So little by little, it's part of the process. It's part of the journey that we're taking. It's finding minutes, finding rhythm, making sure that we get no injuries. And the most important thing is for the guys to start getting used to playing with each other and starting to get to know each other. We've been working very hard during training, making sure that our principles, our style of play, that the guys understand the way we want our identity to be. But the games is different. The games give you a lot more information, and it's been good. If we have to do a quick summary of the two games and a quick reflection, I think it's positive. We're on the positive side, but there's a lot of work to do still to keep getting better and getting to where we want to be.
I know that you said you're looking for individual performance, how the team does overall. The results aren't as important, but how good does it feel to have a 5-2 win like today?
No, it always feels good to win. But as I told you last week, we are very, very performance oriented. We understand that the results in the business that we played is the most important thing. But I firmly believe that a lot of good performances put together at the end of the day are the consequence of results, right? And good results. So we're focusing on performance right now. We're focusing on identity. We're focusing on providing minutes for the players that give them the ability to get to know each other on the field. Like I said, I'm going to combine both games to do a reflection of this week, where we're giving each guy 45 minutes the other day and 45 minutes today. When you add it, it's a full game, and we do a reflection. A lot of new faces, a lot of new players on the field. The other day versus Colorado, there were only two guys on the field that have played with each other before. So again, we knew it was gonna take some time. It's part of the process, and I think where we're standing today, it's on the positive side, but we must keep pushing. We must keep getting better and making sure that we demand this voice. This is what we brought them in, and we know we can push them, and we know what they can give us too.
What do you think of Fede's performance in the first half?
Good. It was good for Fede, right? He had an assist. He had a very good goal. It helps. It helps them with confidence, to gain confidence. And like I said, it's the more we play, the more we're gonna start seeing things from each individual. We know we have individual talent, but at the end of the day, it's for us to make sure that it becomes a collective talent and a big muscle. That is one muscle, and is a collective muscle that understands the way we want to do things, and to get everyone on the same page. As I said to Bosch before, we've been training a lot. We threw a lot of information at the players, and but then the game gives you something different, and they need to play games. They need to make sure that they play games, that they spend a lot of minutes inside the field competing, and little by little, it's part of the process that we picked. And like I said, we're happy to where we are today, but we can't slow down.
We saw Kev Lambert look like he was playing in defence today. Is that kind of your view for him, or should we expect him to stay as a defensive midfielder?
The good thing about Kev is he's so versatile, right? And the way we play, he could play multiple positions, right? He could play anywhere in the back. He could play in the midfield. If we play with a back four, he could also play in the back. And it gives you so much flexibility. The more games we play and the more training sessions that we give him in the back shows how much more comfortable he's becoming, and how good he can become. I think he can be an elite. And when I talk about elite, I'm not just talking about MLS. I'm talking about internationally, center back level. And he's still young. You see his athleticism. Now you see how comfortable he's becoming on the ball with the game in front of him. So it's good. It's good for us to make sure that we can bring in players that play multiple positions, as you saw today. And on any given day, we can shift the way we look on the field, or our shape, or the positions, without losing the identity that we want to adopt.
And then trialist getting on the score sheets in the first half as well. What kind of a boost does that give to his odds of staying here, maybe?
It's important, right? It's important for the guys that come in that can contribute to a result, that can contribute with goals, with assists. It's good. It's good for everyone. It's good for them. It's good for us. And now we just have to make sure that we, like I said, we keep pushing. We have a very new team, and now we're focusing on spending time together on and off the field.
Coach, you've had now back-to-back games where you have guys score 45. 45 breaking the group up. So do you anticipate next preseason games when you start to try to go for that hour mark for you guys?
Yes. We also been mixing it up a lot. I believe versus Colorado, it was probably 2 academies on a try list at once on the field, and then in the other half, it was probably 2 and 1 as well. I can't remember very well. Today it was very similar. There was academy and try list, so we mixed both halves. For the next preseason match, which is going to be next week, we're going to make sure that we put a starting team that is it's made of all Phoenix Rising players that we have signed, and little by little we start shaping the team where we start ramping the minutes. Now next week we're going to see probably 60 minutes of a starting team, and then we start making substitutions after the 60th mark versus Sporting.
We saw one of the academy players in the second half there, Santi, I forget his last name,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yes.
But what have you seen from him so far this pre-season, and what kind of a chance do you think he has of making the roster?
It's so fun to watch the academy guys. I was joking with the staff that every time an academy player is on the field, I'm rooting for them so much. I mean, because I want to protect them. I want to make sure that they do well. I also want to make sure that what I said to you during the week is, if they're here, it's because they deserved it and they earned it, right? And now they have to make sure that when we put them in, we protect them, we give them the tools that they need in order to stay successful and do well with us, because we want to make sure that we don't break them or burn them, right? It's coming for them to come over here. It's part of their path of growth and development, and in order to keep growing and development, you have to, I mean, even though at times it's going to be a little uncomfortable, the transition from the academy to the pros, try to make that transition as comfortable as we can, and Santi's has been great. I mean, you guys saw what Liam did the other day. Santi plays 45 today with the majority of Phoenix Rising players that are pros, and he does a good job. So little by little, I hope we can keep adding more academy guys to our games.
What are your thoughts on the chemistry that's building between Emil and Manu?
It's good. It's fun to watch, right? Yeah, it's one of those things, Owen, that when we watch film and we spend hours watching film, and then we're making phone calls, and then we get on the phone with the players, and we want to make sure that we bring in pieces that when you put the puzzle, they can connect with each other, and it's part of the process that we adapted in the off season. And little by little, when you see those pieces coming together with the identity that we want to adopt, it makes, I mean, it's fun. It's fun for us. Not just him. Little by little, you start seeing, in the back line, how Kev and Daniel and Ale and Darnell and they're just guys that are developing good relationships. The midfield too. I mean, we have, Renzo, Carlos, Jose, Anguiano, and it's good. It's good for them to see how game after game we keep getting better. But when I mean keep getting better, is they keep getting used to playing with each other. We know we have good players. They're there. We watch them train every day. But at the end of the day, what I mean about getting better is get used to playing with each other, and that's where we want to get. We have after this week 4 more weeks before we go to Charleston, and it should be a good one.
And then a couple of guys we haven't seen. Danny Trejo, probably the most notable of those. How is he doing in terms of his preparation?
Danny's been fine. He trained with us on the first week that we call it kind of like a readaptation, a week prior to preseason, and he trained with us a couple of times, and he had a couple of sessions, and now he just has a bit of a tweak in his hamstring, and we're being very cautious with that. Same thing with Gallardo. Gallardo has a bit something on his quad, a bit of a tweak, and we want to make sure that we protect them and we don't push them unnecessarily, that they could have an injury and then we lose them for a longer period of time.